Hello, this is Gwanghwamun Square in Seoul. Look to the right and you'll see the palace. The place I'm visiting this time is Seocheon. Seocheon means West Village in Korean, and it's the name given to the village west of the palace. Nowadays, due to urbanization, much of the traditional architecture in the Seocheon area has disappeared, but some parts still remain. Many people visit the palace and then explore the villages west or east of the palace. The atmosphere of the two villages is quite different. The East Village is famous for its Hanok village. The traditional houses are preserved, and the streets are stylish and well organized, giving it an overall clean feel. However, Seocheon offers a better glimpse into the lives of its residents. It has a traditional Korean market and a somewhat complex and rustic feel. It has a natural charm. Just now, I saw someone wearing a hanbok, Korea's traditional attire. There are many hanbok rental shops here. You have to pay about $3 to enter the palace, but if you wear a hanbok, you can enter for free. Of course, hanbok rentals are much more expensive. Tourists who may not return often take commemorative photos in hanbok to create memories. If you take the alley to the left from here, you'll come across a street lined with hanbok rental shops. There aren't many people around right now. I visited around 6:30 p.m. on a Saturday. I think it was probably because the palace entrance hours had passed. That's when most people would have returned their hanbok. And it was incredibly hot that day. It was 38 degrees Celsius, and Seoul issued a heat wave warning. The heat probably explains why so few people are out and about. I had a really hard time that day too. At the end of the alley, you'll see quite a few people standing at the crosswalk. From here, you can truly feel the Seocheon neighborhood. I'll walk to the right without crossing the street. There are no high-rise buildings in the Seocheon area. Since it's located right next to Korea's cultural heritage, there are legal height restrictions. Buildings are limited to a maximum of 5 stories. The area is also designated as a Hanok Preservation District. Strict regulations prevent the redevelopment of traditional buildings around the palace. Furthermore, the presidential office is about a 10-minute walk along this road, just 1 kilometer away. For national security reasons, high-rise buildings are prohibited around security facilities. This is because the presidential office can be viewed from the upper floors. As a result, most buildings are 1 story high. This contrasts sharply with the high-rise buildings in front of the palace, which we saw at the beginning. As I walk along the street, I see a crosswalk on the left. I'm going to walk across the street. I'm planning to explore the main street of Seocheon Village. Just cross this crosswalk and you'll arrive. The weather must be really hot. Even though I visited on a Saturday, when it's usually the busiest, there weren't many people around. This is Seocheon's main street. It's always bustling with people, but not today. If you look to the right, you'll see the old-looking Woori Bank building. That building was built in 1911. Just before Korea became a Japanese colony, the then Korean king established a Western-style bank to counter Japanese financial influence. Among the bank branches, this one, located west of the palace, was primarily used by the royal family. Situated west of the palace, this area was where the royal family resided. It was therefore conveniently located. Even after Korea gained independence from Japan, successive presidents used this bank branch as their primary bank. In effect, it served as the Korean leader's safe. This road I'm walking on now was originally a river before it became urbanized. The river was filled in, creating its current form. If you walk along this road for about 20 minutes, you'll reach Inwangsan Mountain. The river used to flow from that mountain. Not only this road, but even the car-only road with the crosswalk was entirely a river. That road was incredibly wide. In the old days, it served as a moat to protect the palace. Many people believe that Korean palaces don't have moats, but that's not true at all. Natural streams flowed both east and west of the palace, and these streams met at Shenjekian Stream to the south. This photo makes it clear. The north side of the palace is protected by a mountain, and the yellow line marks where a river once flowed. The palace was built between natural streams for defense. I'll take the uphill road on the left. There's a Korean-style fortune-telling vending machine on the way up. You can find them commonly in tourist areas in Korea. I'm going up a steep hill and then back down a different path. I've marked my current location on the map. I'll explore the food alleys and residential areas. If you look to the right, you'll see tall buildings in the distance. Among them, you'll notice a building that looks like it has horns on it. That building is the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency. Seoul has a lot of hilly terrain. This is because there are so many mountains throughout the city. About 60% of Seoul's terrain is made up of hills. Because of this, it's common to see buildings built on slopes. The roads are narrow and hilly, making Seoul a challenging place to drive. When I got my driver's license, the test course was very challenging because it was on a steep slope. Beginner drivers will experience how difficult it is to stop and then resume driving on a slope. This is why Koreans are such good drivers. It's an environment that forces them to be good drivers. I'm walking toward the food street. Looking to the left, the pedestrian walkway across from me is the path I took. I've now completed a circuit of this area and am here. The road across to the left is the alley lined with hanbok rental shops I passed. If you walk to the right from here, you'll arrive at the food street. This place was originally a traditional market. However, as it became a popular destination for tourists and office workers, restaurant business inevitably flourished. It's close to the palace, a subway station, and the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency, which we saw earlier, is just a block to the left. That's why we renamed it Food Street. Most of the restaurants in this narrow alley are located here. The rectangular light hanging above is impressive. That light is a cheongsacholong, a traditional Korean lantern. In the past, Korean nobles would hang this light in front of their doors for special occasions. It's a typical light used at traditional Korean wedding ceremonies. Now, I'd like to finally explore the traditional residential area where the local residents actually live. You'll arrive at this area by taking the alley to the right. The alley is incredibly narrow. It's so narrow that only 2 people can pass through. As I mentioned earlier, this area was once a royal residential area. Back then, they weren't built with bricks like they are today, but rather with wood. The houses you see now are a combination of traditional Korean and Western brick architecture. Even in the 1960s, alleys like this were common throughout Seoul. Now, almost all of them have disappeared, replaced by high-rise apartment complexes. It's no longer common to see alleys like this, even in Seoul. There's a hidden cafe on the left where you can read books. It's a bit like a maze, but it's also a fun space. This concludes my tour of Seocheon. Thank you for watching the video.